What's up, gang? Kawaii50 here with another video for you. First, greetings if you're just finding the channel now. If you've been here for a while, welcome back. Now, to start with, what prompted this video? Well, I got a new phone recently. Got me a new phone. It's a very, very nice phone. You can see it there. Look at it. You see a phone? Okay, good phone. All right, so I got a new phone recently, and I was looking through the App Store. I was looking for suggestions from other people, and I realized something. There's a lot of gacha games out there. There's a lot of gacha games out there. And it can be a little daunting. It can be a little daunting to be like, what should I try? What's worth trying? What game am I not going to end up getting into? And then it's just going to end up shutting down very, very shortly after I got into it, like me recently trying to get back into Dragalia Lost. Rest in peace, Dragalia Lost. So I went and I compiled together a list of some solid gacha games. I got about 8 here, and I have personally tried all of these games and enjoyed them to some degree. I'm either still currently enjoying them, or I enjoyed my time with them and have since moved on. But know other people who still think these games are fantastic. So if you're looking for something new to play, this is the video for you. Let's go ahead and take a look at 8 gacha games worth trying in 2022. Hopefully, this video helps you find something new to play that is very, very fun. If it did, be sure to go ahead, like, and subscribe. Okay, the first one we gotta do, since it's a significant part of this YouTube channel, is of course Fate Grand Order. Now, what is the main thing that will draw you to Fate Grand Order? Well, it is honestly the writing and the soundtrack. That is really what ends up selling FGO for a lot of people. The interactions with the characters, the story beats that happen. The most recent chapter of the story that got released is blowing everyone away. It's truly a case of writing that just gets better and better as the story goes on. For the type of battle system, you're looking at your typical turn-based fare, sort of card-based, so there's a little bit of RNG in there, but you can still go ahead and build yourself some powerful characters that can help carry you through the vast majority of content. This is a game that is famous for having low-rarity characters that can pull you through the entire game. Just look up any low-rarity farm on YouTube, Twitter, wherever, and you will see exactly what I am talking about. So if you're looking for a game that, despite the fact it doesn't have a pity system and it has a little bit of low rate, one you can still clear reliably with free characters and experience a great story, Fate Grand Order is going to be the game for you to try. My next suggestion is Arknights, and this is a game I really wanted to keep continuing playing, but I am very, very bad at tower defense, so I just got frustrated and quit. However, that does not diminish the quality game that Arknights is. I'm not going to be like those Elden Ring players who say Elden Ring's a bad game just because they're bad at Elden Ring. I ain't going to do that for Arknights. Arknights is honestly great. Arknights has a very enjoyable story that is a little bit on the darker side. So if that is the kind of thing you're into, Arknights is going to go ahead and push down that genre, and you'll probably find it quite enjoyable. As for the gameplay, you are looking at tower defense, with each character being their own type of tower, and you've just got to keep moving your characters around the field, placing them at key choke points and areas to ensure that the slew of enemies does not reach your squishy player insert avatar. But I'm sure you'll be able to do that far better than I did. If you're looking to try tower defense a little more on the serious side, go ahead and try Arknights. The next game I can definitely recommend is Azure Lane. What is Azure Lane? Well, imagine that you have this big, sprawling epic about building some of the most powerful ships in the history of military might. Then go ahead and take all of those ships and turn them into cute anime girls. You then have Azure Lane. Isn't that just dandy? Azure Lane's gameplay, it can be described as more of like a shooter game. There's a lot of moving your ships around. There's a lot of active attacks you have to make. You might even actually have to aim. So that's definitely something to consider. As far as the gacha goes, from what I played, it seemed pretty generous and forgiving. You were able to build all of your special ships out of these cubes that you got. Sure, you had to wait to quote unquote pull, but I ended up getting a pretty decent fleet of good ships without having to sink any money into it, and that in and of itself was enjoyable. Also, if you're looking to go the extra mile and really hammer home that desire for a waifu, you can of course marry your ships. So if you ever want to marry a warship, give Azure Lane a try. So this video would be incorrect if I didn't include this, regardless of your personal feelings on the community, on the way the game plays, whether or not it's a huge ripoff of Breath of the Wild. The fact remains that Genshin Impact is an absolute titan, dominating the gacha games industry right now, and it's honestly doing it with good reason. The game is a quality adventure game to play. It is nice and simple for people to be able to pick it up and play it easily. However, if you want to do a lot of the harder content, well, there is of course a way to do that as well and really get down into the meat and potatoes of the game, building yourself a team that is an absolute force to be reckoned with. Genshin also has quite a lot going for it. The voice acting is honestly pretty good, as is the music, and this is just my personal opinion. Also, on top of that, the game is very, very accessible to a wide variety of players. It is on PlayStation 4 and 5. It is on PC. It is on mobile. It's supposed to be on Switch, but I have no idea when that's supposed to happen, but consider that as well at the time of this video. If you're looking for a game that you are sure will be popular for years to come, to give you that sort of gacha safety net where if you want to sink a couple of bucks in there, you'll see the payoff of those couple of bucks continue for years on end, you're going to want Genshin Impact. Next up, I've got a game for you that I've really wanted more people to play but haven't seen nearly enough conversation around, and that is Dissidia Opera Omnia. No, this isn't like Dissidia NT, that arcade-style multiplayer game that unfortunately failed spectacularly and has a really bad PC port that I did not enjoy. No, this is something entirely different. This is a turn-based RPG where you make a squad of 3 of your most beloved Final Fantasy characters. You just go through this world, engaging in all of these stories about these characters, coming to grips with what happened to them in their previous life, because the world of Dissidia, it's a sort of afterlife of sorts, which leads to a lot of very interesting Smash Brothers style interactions, which, as a big Final Fantasy fan, I really do love. The battle system is simplistic, yet overall enjoyable. I know I say simplistic, it's simplistic in the execution. What gets really difficult are the lines of text. There's a lot of lines of text in this game. There's a lot of different things that all of these abilities do, and you can kind of sort of get lost in the shuffle. But gameplay-wise, it's click a button, watch your characters' buffs interact with each other, do a super cool combo on an opponent, and go ahead and breeze on through to the next battle. Of course, it has something for some of the more hardcore players. There are incredibly high difficult stages where you really need to make sure you're managing your characters, watching the turn order on the side of the screen, paying attention to what buffs are about to fall off your characters and what debuffs are about to fall out for your enemies. Something where you've really, it's very difficult if you end up getting interrupted fighting one of those stages. So if you're looking for a game that is simple on the outset but can provide you with that hardcore experience in the end game, and you're a big fan of Final Fantasy like me, give Opera Omnia a try. My next recommendation is another Eden, the cat beyond time and space. Now, what is so big about this game? Well, for starters, it has people who worked on both Chrono and Xenogears. That's right, 2 of the most beloved PlayStation and Super Nintendo RPGs to ever exist worked on this game. And Another Eden is a very nice chill gacha game that's really got a lot going for it. Now, one of the main reasons I recommended this game is how easy it is to enjoy events. I'm sure you'll understand there were a lot of gacha games in the past that have ended up, you get an event, cool event character comes out, event goes away, you never see that character again, and you are very sad, especially if the event happened before you even started playing a game. The nice thing about Another Eden is that all of the events are in the game permanently. So if you want to go and try that long-forgotten Persona 5 collab, you absolutely can do that. This game is also on both PC and mobile, and it's native PC. You can download the game right on Steam. So if you're looking for a game that's going to be really good in the casual aspect, again, another turn-based RPG here, Another Eden might be worth your try. My next recommendation is Epic 7, and the first thing you'll notice about this game is it is beautiful. All of the hand-drawn characters are absolutely gorgeous when they are into action. There is, however, one disclaimer I've really got to give you about this game. It's grindy. It's very grindy. There's a lot of stuff you have to do to get a very powerful slew of characters. When it comes to weapon RNG, when it comes to feeding lower rarity characters into higher rarity characters to unlock their maximum star rating, there's so much that you have to do to even get one team of super powerful characters in the game, let alone multiple. However, when it comes to paying off, oh, does it pay off? There are so many ways you can flex your high rarity, high power team on Epic 7. It is awesome. One of the biggest things in this game I think draws a lot of players, something I enjoy watching even though I don't really play the game that much anymore, is real-time arena. You'll get a bunch of people playing in real-time arena, building up their teams, flexing their characters, fighting each other to try and reach that top spot. There is of course a guild war on top of that. You can join a guild, go take down enemy guild towers, fight their teams of defenders, and help your guild come out on top. There's also a story hidden beneath all of this, and the story was pretty decent from what I saw. A lot of otherworldly, timey-wimey sort of shenanigans that happened in the second season where I personally ended up falling off. But I am still able to recognize that Epic 7 is a pretty dang good game. So if you're looking for something a little heavier on the PvP end of things, this is the one. And my final recommendation is a game I've gotten back into quite recently, War of the Visions Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. And yes, I know there's 2 Final Fantasy titles on this list, but it's my video and I will do what I want to do. Now, what makes War of the Visions different from the previously mentioned Opera Omnia? Well, this is a top-down isometric tactics style game. This is sort of like a little spiritual successor to Final Fantasy Tactics that they did in the mobile sphere. Sort of like that Project Triangle strategy game that came out. And much like Dissidia, this is a Smash Brothers style hodgepodge of a bunch of different Final Fantasy characters that show up in different events. At the time I'm recording this video, there is a Final Fantasy VI collaboration going on where you can get Terra, Locke, and Celis as characters that can join your team. I personally ended up leveling up Locke because he's one of my favorites, and he has been absolutely fantastic. There's so many things you have to consider in this game, from positioning to height to what area all of your spells are going to hit in, how long it's going to take to cast it so you can make sure the enemy doesn't move out of the way. There are a lot of things to consider in this tactics style gameplay. It is a very enjoyable game in my eyes. There is only one thing that really gives me pause, and is something that's kind of like Epic 7, in that there is a lot of a grindy aspect, and this is in the form of character shards. You see, character shards exist to help you limit break your characters to maximum level. You can't just raise their level through materials that are in the game. You have to get multiple copies of these shards to level up your character. And if you've missed out on a couple shards, like I did unfortunately with Thunder God Sid, well, you might be waiting a while to finally max out that character. This is a game, honestly, where you don't really want to pull on banners that much. Just pull till you get the character you want, and then go ahead and spend shards to max them out however you'd like. If you're looking for a sweet tactics style game that again gives you that Smash Brothers Final Fantasy feel, then maybe War of the Visions is more up your alley than Dissidia, Opera Omnia. Anyways, gang, those are few of my gacha game recommendations for you to try in 2022. This is just stuff that is out now that you can go ahead and install on your phone, PC, emulator, whatever works for you, and go ahead and give a go. Hopefully, one of these genres, one of these games ended up piquing your interest a little bit. There are still, of course, so many games out on the horizon that are going to really shake up the gaming sphere in my mind. We've got Girls Frontline 2 coming out. We've got Arknights Enfield, we've got Honkai Star Rail, so there's going to be a lot of competition in the future. Just remember, if you're playing the game and you're having fun, then that is good. If you're playing the game, you're just logging in every day, going through the motions, if you're just summoning, not even actually playing the game after you summon those characters, it might be time to put that game to bed. Hopefully though, I have given you a game that will end up making you smile for days and days to come. If you want to talk about more gacha games, of course my Discord server is always open. I want to give a big thanks to the patrons on Patreon, subscribers and followers over on Twitch, and of course all of you here on YouTube, because without you, there's no reason for me to make any of these videos. Anyways gang, this is Kawaii50, hoping you all have a phenomenal day. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye bye.